Are you ready to be scared? Spooked?
Do you like scary movies?
I'm scared, Jack. What's up, all my freaky little pinheads out there? On today's special episode, I'm gonna take you through a trip to go over all of the scary Halloweenish themed tables so you have something to do on All Hallows Eve. Stick around. Okay, pinheads, no surprise here. My favorite holiday of the year is Halloween. I like the scary stuff. I've always been into the scary stuff since I was a wee little lad. I've been watching scary movies. So this is a cool topic that I've been wanting to cover, and now that October is here, October, pumpkin everything, I'm finally gonna do this special video for you. Let's go through some of the best tables you can play with a Halloween theme. First, I'm going to kick it off with an original table called Dark Princess. This table is awesome. Dark Princess takes you through a journey of your Disney princesses all being evil. Like, there's zombies and everything. You can see even on the back glass here, like, all the princesses have gone through hell. Object of the game, knock out your 5 main princesses to fight the Ice Queen, which is kind of like your Elsa here. Really cool. The music is awesome. It's got like metal versions of all these Disney princess songs. Such a cool table. Definitely one of my tops when it comes to a creepy theme for Halloween. Something a little less scary for the kids, but definitely stays on that Halloween theme. Zen Studios, Sorcerers Lair. This is one of those tables that actually got me into virtual pinball. It's a free download when you download FX on almost like any platform that you can. So this is a great way to get kids into it. And it's a pretty in-depth table. There's a lot to do in Sorcerer's Lair, and because it was made as a video game, they have a lot of physics and stuff that wouldn't be possible in a real pinball machine. One of the cool things is when you're starting these different modes, it usually brings you to a totally different area. Almost like mini play fields, but multiple different versions. You got one where you gotta knock spiders out, kind of like in a cellar. There's another that's like a puzzle where you see gears moving. You gotta move the actual gears and try not to crush the ball in the process. There's modes where ghosts appear on the play field and you gotta hit them with the ball. So a lot of really cool stuff on this table. Definitely a great one. If you are an FX player, it's a must. For my future pinball players out there, there's no exception of why you shouldn't have this already. Probably one of the best tables for future pinball is their Halloween, the Big Bloody Mike edition. It's a slam tilt classic and it's been updated, so like it has SSF. It's a very in-depth table if you're a big Halloween fan. This is one you definitely don't sleep on. You've got an upper playfield, some crazy shots, and just brings you into that Halloween creepy themes. You're also a future pinball player. We also have Slam Tilt's Nightmare on Elm Street. Different from the original table, totally different. It's a Slam Tilt original. Very cool if you are a Nightmare on Elm Street fan.
I'll get you, my pretty, your little soul, too. Ah ha ha!
Yeah, so this table's got lots of cool stuff. One of the big points to check out is this spinning wheel here, the Wheel of Souls. If you do play this table and you're trying to spell out the word, it is progressive. So if you don't get all the letters right away in the first game, they're gonna stay lit in the next game. So it might take you a while to get that, but don't think it's a bug. It's actually how it's supposed to be. Cool one to check out. Lots of clips from the movie. Definitely thumbs up in my opinion. Speaking of Nightmare on Elm Street, you don't wanna miss Freddy, A Nightmare on Elm Street Pinball. Gottlieb 1994 table. Executed very well on VPX. You have an awake and a sleep mode just like the previous, and obviously you are trying to beat Freddy in this. Some really cool stuff here. You got the furnace going in the top corner. That's a major shot. This table allows you a multi-ball within your first shot. The skill shot, if you plunge that ball into the furnace right away, it's going to start you on a multi-ball. Gottlieb apparently was doing a lot of multi-ball stuff in the late 80s, early 90s to try to attract more people. It's got this cool glove save down here at the bottom, and you can smack the ball. So definitely use your Magna Save flippers. Bonus note on that, one of the cooler mods that I've seen is the Starlion mod of this version. He's really upped the graphics. Big difference is the head. The head definitely looks more Freddy-like. The Gottlieb version looks like the Gottlieb version on VPX. Don't think it's a VPX error or anything like that. That head's kind of like, yeah, kind of weird. Both versions awesome to play this Halloween. If you prefer EM tables, I got one for you. This is awesome. Night of the Living Dead. Specifically, the Grunge modification. This makes this table look old and ancient, but it's got some great effects, like lightning you'll see will light up certain things on there. It's a beautiful table to play, and again, definitely gives off that creepy Halloween vibe, something awesome to play when the lights are low and everything is kind of creepy and it's nighttime. You know, everyone loves brains. There's also a sequel to Night of the Living Dead and a Return of the Living Dead. I grew up watching campy B horror movies, so Return of the Living Dead is definitely a favorite of mine. This is a cool table. Speaking of campy horror B movies, Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness table on VPX is pretty cool. You can get an Evil Dead 2 table as well, but the Army of Darkness table definitely plays a lot better to me. Beautiful artwork. If anyone's ever caught my logo, you probably can tell that I'm an Army of Darkness fan. Beautiful artwork, quotes from the movie. It's a fun one to play. If you like those older solid state machines, so like we're talking like early 80s, there is a classic out there. You probably have heard of it, Gorgar.
Gorgar, dun 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 dun.
Gorgar is definitely an awesome table. It's got that early 80s vibe and playability to it. Cool sound effects. Like I said, you hear that heart beating, and playing that in the dark, ooh, yeah, it definitely gets you. Going to a little bit more of a modern feel, we've got the Munsters. This is based on the Stern version. Very cool. It's a full DMD, beautifully done table. You can see you've got big Herman Munster standing there in the middle. You got your staircases. It's got a lot of clips from the show. Cool one to check out. Definitely another modern classic in the V-Pinball world would be Orbital Pinball's Stranger Things. Definitely play this with a pup pack. This is a beautiful table. If you watch the show, this is awesome. They touch on a lot of stuff. You got a big bash toy that comes out in the form of the Demogorgon. Really cool. Music's awesome. Definitely probably one of my top picks on tables you should be playing this Halloween. A little bit of an obscure one back in the mid 80s, Strange Science. New version of this recently came out. I did talk about it on one of my previous shows. Strange Science is somewhat based on the movie Weird Science from the 80s. So there's a bit of comedy in here. In Strange Science, you're trying to replace the brain of this girl with a monkey and vice versa. So it's definitely a funny one, a little bit creepy. I like to throw that in there. Cool one to check out. Now let's talk about some of our classic tables that fit that Halloween vibe. Starting off with Elvira Scared Stiff. This was the second Elvira table to come out of 3. And personally, it's my favorite Elvira table in V-Pinball. It's got this cool dragon chute in the back you can see. You got this coffin bash toy in the top middle. You want to get the balls in there to start multi-ball. Also a really cool back glass with this. The back glass actually plays a big part in the game as it has this turning, spinning thing here that you have to stop and will determine bonuses and stuff like that in different modes. Of course, there's the all-time selling physical pinball game, the Addams Family. There's a few different versions you can find of this. Addams Family is a great table, fun one to play. Addams Family based on the early 90s movies. You are tasked with getting into the vault and stealing the Addams money. Lots of cool stuff to do in here. This was a great table when it came out. Still a fun table to play virtually. Tales from the Crypt. If you didn't watch this show as a kid, oof, you lost out, man. Tales of the Crypt was an awesome show, and the table is also fantastic. I preach all the time about Visual Pinball Workshop and how good their work is, and in my opinion, their Tales from the Crypt table is the best thing they've put out. This table is absolutely gorgeous and so realistic, it's insane. It plays beautifully, it looks beautiful. You need to play this table. Lots to do in Tales in the Crypt, doing different missions for the Crypt Keeper. He's throwing comments at you all the time, they'll keep you laughing, but still fits into this Halloween theme. The Twilight Zone, another classic table that has been done beautifully. I don't usually like the black and white mods of tables. The Twilight Zone, it fits perfectly for. Definitely a cool one to check out. The Walking Dead by Stern, another great table. You're gonna find different mods of this. JP has done a mod that's a little bit more kid-friendly. You can find mods of the actual version. Such a cool table. You got a big bash toy in the middle of this big fat zombie. You got another kind of bash toy up here where you can open up the barn, and it's just really cool. Some really cool shots. It's got shots that you could take with a crossbow. Really cool table. Definitely check it out. Might be saving the best classic for last, but definitely can't miss this. One of my absolute favorite tables, Monster Bash. Monster Bash! Monster Bash involves all the classic Universal monsters, and what it's doing is they were in a band and they're reforming the band, they're having a reunion to have a Monster Bash. So you go around the table hitting the shots of the different monsters. You got some really cool stuff. You got Gil here in the corner, which is also actually based off the Creature of the Black Lagoon table that they had put out. Pretty cool. You have Dracula who comes out and starts moving around the table that you gotta hit. You also have to put Frankenstein back together, and once you do that, that's where you get your multi-ball. Awesome table to play, definitely need to check it out. This is one of those ones that's on like every platform. You can do it on VPX or you can do it on FX. If you need to play it on Switch, you can play it on Switch, you can play it everywhere. Awesome table to check out. That about wraps up this special. I hope I've encouraged you to go play some
scary tables.
I'm GGPinball, and this has been your scary picks for October. Now let's play some pinball.